Language learning is a journey, one that requires consistency, patience, and most importantly, strategy. There are certain steps that you have to follow to be able to learn a new language. Just like going to the gym or doing your skincare or makeup, there are certain steps that you have to follow. When going to the gym, you first start with some stretchings and warming up your body, right? Then the next step is to use gym instruments. Language learning is the same. You cannot just jump and start learning the language. There are certain things that you have to do first and some certain things that you have to do later on during the day. In today's video, I am sharing the exact steps that I take every single day to learn a new language, starting from morning up till night. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced level learner, this plan will give you a structure, progress, and also motivation. So without further ado, let's get started. When you start studying a language, the first few hours are super important because you have the most energy and motivation to study the language. It can either be early in the morning or whenever you are at the library and you have decided to start studying your target language. That is why you have to start with the hardest task. By hardest task, I mean something that requires your active learning and your full focus and attention. It is usually grammar, reading, or vocab learning that require your full attention. You can dedicate this time to focus on your main language learning resource, which can be your textbook or the video course that you are watching or an online course. Now, let's see the right routine to practice reading, vocab, and grammar. For reading, choose wisely your main resource. If you are self-studying, your main book should be a self-study book, not a textbook that is taught at language schools. You have to make sure that your resources are right for a self-study plan. You have to make sure that the book is right for self-studying. You can start by reading the text, listening to the audiobook of the text, translating the new words, and studying the grammar. Reading in the morning gives your mind a calm and focused start, and it introduces you to vocabulary and grammar in context, which is far more powerful than memorizing alone. If you find it difficult to self-study grammar, don't forget to search each grammar topic on YouTube and watch videos on that topic. And don't forget to ask ChatGPT for extra explanation on each grammar point. It can also give you some practice exercises. You can even ask ChatGPT to create a short story using the grammar points that you have just learned. As for vocabulary, use spaced repetition. You can use different flashcard apps. My suggestion is FluentU. I have recommended it to you guys multiple times on my previous videos. You can use this app to make your own flashcards and learn new words through short videos. And do not forget about shadowing. You can spend a few minutes watching a YouTube video or the audiobook of the book that you are studying to repeat what the native speakers are saying. This practice is super important for you to train your pronunciation as well as intonation. As you just saw, self-studying a language might be tricky as it has multiple steps that you have to follow. It might be quite tricky or challenging and even boring for some people. That's why some language learners give up. So my recommendation for this type of students is to take part in language learning classes. You can register in your local language school or take part in online language classes. For this, my one and only recommendation is Lingota. Lingota is an online language learning platform where you can learn different languages with native speakers. Alright guys, now I'm waiting for my Lingota class to start, but before that, I want to show you guys my class routine. How do I attend a language learning class? What are the things that I do before and after the class? Let's start. Alright, so this is how the platform looks.
You can choose your level, and you can also choose whether you want group or private class. This is my preview routine where I get to see the PDF in advance and preview all the lesson materials. I also get the chance to get familiar with the new vocabulary that I'm gonna learn.
Profesor, me llamo Mahya, soy de Irán. Ahora estudio en China, estudio administración de empresa. Sí, y estudio español porque me gusta estudiar diferentes idiomas.
Alright, I'm done with the class. Then I get to memorize and review all the new words that I've learned using flashcards that Lingota automatically generates for me.
If you still find it hard to stay consistent, I recommend taking part in the Lingota Spirit Challenge. The way it works is that you take 60 or 30 lessons in 60 days, and if you manage to successfully complete these classes, you get 50% cash back. This challenge also has up to 20% discount. I'm sure that it will help you build habits and also boost your motivation.
If you want to attend a class on Lingota as well, I have put the link on the description down below with a discount for you guys to learn different languages on Lingota. Lingota not only has Spanish, but also has English, French, German, Italian, and business English classes. They offer both one-on-one classes and group classes, which are both amazing if you want to practice your speaking, because you get enough opportunity to speak with your tutor who is a native speaker of that language.
We've just finished talking about our language learning morning or daytime routine, where you have more energy, you are more motivated to study that language. What about our afternoon or night routine? When I'm tired, I'm just back from my 9-to-5 job, I'm just back from my school, I just want to chill and have some fun. At night, if you're not that tired, you can continue with active learning, but if you're tired, you can go with passive learning. Let's say you go for a walk or you go to the gym at night. During this time, you can listen to what you have studied in the morning. Listening while doing everyday tasks allows your brain to absorb rhythm, pronunciation, and natural phrasing, even if you are not actively focused. Remember the flashcards that you made during the daytime? Try going through those vocab using FluentU or other language learning apps. Then, if you want to make your language learning more like an active learning, try using language learning exchange apps such as HelloTalk or Tandem. Remember to focus on communication, not perfection. What I usually do is that, let's say during that day I have learned 20 new words. I open HelloTalk or Tandem. I randomly start chatting with a foreigner there. I try to use those new vocabs that I've just learned during that day to talk to that new language partner. In this way, I can use those words in a natural conversation. This helps me not only to learn different usages of that word, but also to remember it in context. Usually, the person also starts using that word, then you will see different usages of that word. Remember, it's not about how many words you know. It's about how well you can use them. Prioritize quality over quantity. So, learning how to use those words in a natural conversation is really important. Speaking is the most daunting skill for many learners, but also the most rewarding. Practice makes perfect. It also builds confidence. Through conversation, we don't just learn to express ourselves, we also learn to think in the language, to make mistakes, and to grow from them. Language is not just a subject to study, it's a tool to connect, to relate, and to open your world. As the day winds down, my friends, I like to reflect on what I've learned. Writing helps me reinforce new vocabulary and grammar, and it encourages self-expression. Even a few sentences a day can help solidify your progress and show you how far you've came. Language learning is not a race, it's a relationship, and writing allows you to build that connection deeply, one thought at a time. As you just saw, I spent my whole day engaging myself with the language that I'm learning and actively practicing the new vocab. First, I found that new word or grammar in my textbook. I practiced them using flashcards. Then I practiced them while chatting or speaking with native speakers. I kept listening to the textbook to remember the context of the conversation or the story. Then, at night, I used the grammar and the vocab that I've studied during that day to write my diaries. Fluency isn't built in a day, but every day brings you one step closer. Trust the process and stay consistent, and celebrate the small wins. Because the beauty of a language lies not just in words, but in the doors it opens to connections, to understandings, and to opportunities. If this routine gave you some ideas and inspirations, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for more tips and motivation videos. And I will see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.